This video was made possible thanks to EA Game Changers. Well, hello there, it's Kriint and welcome to another speed build. So, I'm very excited because today we have a tiny house. I was lucky enough to get early access to Tiny Living Stuff Pack and I built tiny houses. This is like something that you're going to be, okay, what were you supposed to be? It's called Tiny Living. You're supposed to build tiny houses, right? Duh. But tiny houses and starter builds is something that's not up in my alley. If you scroll through my channels, you will see very few examples, like very few builds of tiny houses and starter houses. It's not something that I know how to do. And when the developers told us that there's a new pack coming, and it's called Tiny Living, I was like, okay, cool, I'm screwed. What am I supposed to do with that? I don't know how to do tiny houses. I don't possess this ability. So, I don't know, I was very worried and anxious about it. But then I saw the items, and if you've seen them, you know that they have this mid-century modern feel to them. Aka the first build that we're doing a mid-century modern house. I'm sure that every other game changer is doing a mid-century modern house. But give me a break, it's one of my favorite house styles. Mid-century modern, Scandinavian, and I don't really care. These two are the ones that I really love to build. So I was like, you know what? I love it. And I saw the items, I'm like, I am so happy right now. They had so amazing colors, and it's like it was everything. So after seeing the items, I'm like, okay, we need to make them into a build. And even though I really love making mid-century modern houses, I don't think that I'm good at them. There is something about it that I don't know how to do. Same with Scandinavian. I love how the houses look. I don't know how to make them to save my life, no idea. So I was pretty much experimenting this whole thing. I didn't know what to do. And usually on the beginning, what I do is I take screenshots every few minutes, and then you see a cute time lapse of the exterior, because this is essentially what it's like. Me trying to make the layout work, to make the exterior look cool and not a box, and stuff like that. But because I was like, okay, it's a tiny house, I don't want to have a 10-minute video, a 5-minute video of a tiny house. Let's, delete, not use this method and just record it as it is. And that was good in the theory, but in practice, what I didn't realize was, I don't know how other game changers did it, but my tiny house took 7 hours. And I'm sorry, but this is illegal. A tiny house shouldn't take 7 freaking hours. 7 hours, are we for real? 7 hours for a tiny house. What is this? This is not allowed. I don't know what is going on, but this is not allowed. And I was very mad that I had to edit all of that. But yeah, other than that, if this is your first contact with Tiny Living, I should probably explain that this is a bit more than a stuff pack. Usually stuff packs have a couple new items and cast, in cast and build mode. Maybe they will have in buy mode, they haven't build and buy, maybe build, not necessarily. What I'm trying to say, they don't always have windows. I don't recall any pack stuff pack that had windows currently. But yeah, they have very limited items, and maybe a couple of them add new gameplay. However, they didn't do this with this pack, and what they did was focus on tiny living, building tiny houses and living in tiny houses. So as you can see, we have a new lot type, which is tiny home residential, tiny residential home. I can't read it, it's too small currently for me to read. And it has 3 tiers. As you can see, there is this blue text underneath the menu, the controls that says how many tiles I've used. So there are 3 tiers. The first tier, which is a micro house or home, whatever, it doesn't really matter, is 32 tiles. Then you go into mini house, I want to say, or tiny house. Tiny house, 64 tiles. And then what we're currently working on is a small house, which is 100 tiles. So currently, as you can see, I've exceeded the tiles, and it tells me that this is not a tiny home. Girl, no. So what counts as tiles? Currently, I don't know what I did wrong. Don't ask. What counts as tiles is enclosed rooms. Essentially a room that you can upload to the gallery. This is the easiest way that I can explain it. For example, if you've ever built an apartment, the only reason to download it is to either make the entire thing a room, so essentially delete the walls and drag them. So even though there are walls, it's one room. Or like if you download, you will see many times that above the doors they have deleted the walls. So this is considered a one room. And this is how you can essentially cheat the game. And this is what I did because I don't know how to build tiny houses. So I cheated. Lesson of the day, find loopholes and cheat your way through success. That's a terrible lesson, and I'm obviously joking. So, if let's say you add tiles to the ground, they don't count. If you enclose these tiles with walls, this counts as a room and you count the tiles. However, if you delete one of the walls and delete the room and then you drag the wall, this is not a room. So this is what I did. In the kitchen, you will see we have 2 rooms, a half room maybe, that isn't really a room. The kitchen is essentially outside and it is, like sunken. So it's a different level than the rest of the house. The reason is anything that is on a deck, even if it is like, for example, on island living, to create like a house, you need to have it above the water. And to do that, you can like add deck and make it cute and all. But like that deck or like a balcony or whatever counts towards the tile count, which is terrible because you cannot have cute decks. And I really wanted to do like a mermaid house, like a tiny mermaid house, but I couldn't really make it the way that I wanted because of that reason. Like you cannot have deck, it counts to the tiles. I'm like, okay, cute. But however, the roofing, for example, in this build, you will see that on top of the build, there is this open roof or like a deck that is not considered a room. So since it is not considered a room and it's just tiles. Okay, cool. Whatever. Moving on, I don't know what happened. What I was saying, yeah. In the deck above, it's not in the deck. In the rooftop. Yeah, the rooftop isn't considered as tiles. So it's another great way for you to utilize the space, which is great. So what I did for the garage, because I wanted it to be split level, and I wanted the house to be on like a higher level, like on a foundation. I added roofs. This is a trick that I've done multiple times and like I'm not really going to explain it. You saw it again in the video, but you essentially have the walls. The room isn't usable because it's just roofs that intersect, and it creates a cute garage that it's split level. For the kitchen now, because I ran out of space, I deleted one of the walls and dragged it, and that is it. That's why it's sunken. What else? Oh yeah, for example, on the, how are they called? Yeah, the foundations, where the stairs go, the entrance, I don't know, whatever. The ports, maybe, sure. I had to make it like as stairs, because you can just simply place stairs, and you can place stairs on a foundation. Having stairs alone doesn't count towards the tile count. Having them on top of foundation counts, which again sucks. So yeah. It's like, I think this is one of the reasons why it took me so long to finish it. It's because, I don't know, I had to manipulate the tile count so much to create something that I like. And as you can see here, again, here are the roofs. If you mess up when you have like roofs next to a room that you're changing the walls or adding, for example, fence, the roofs disappear. Excuse me. So if you need to make any changes, you need to be mindful of that. So we're starting with the kitchen. That it's not a room, and I cheated my way. However, good thing that I wasn't the only game changer that cheated. Like, I had to ask them, like, did anyone else cheat? And they're like, it's not cheating. It's like loopholes on the take. And I'm like, yep, I like this idea. It's not cheating, it's loopholes. Like, it's not my fault. I'm smart enough to find loopholes. So yeah, the kitchen is very small. The house is, I tried to make it very colorful and yet neutral. So you will see we have a lot of blacks and beige and browns, but we have like these pops of blue, orange and yellow, I wanna say, which I love. I just love it. The kitchen is so tiny, like I can't explain how small the kitchen is. And I was like, so last build I mentioned that I have this new rule that I want to devote more time when building a room. So essentially I would be almost done here. I would just add a couple more decor and I would call it a day. However, because to me this is like sloppy job, I had to like work more on the decor. However, because this is a tiny house, you need to be very mindful of not over decorating it because it will look very crowded. So that was something else that really bothered me, and I'm like, okay, this also takes quite a while. But yeah, you can see like the pop part and the bits and bobs of color. I really like it. The house has 2 bedrooms. And I find it really fun because I saw that other game changers had made houses, like 100 tiles that fit 8 sims, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like after I finished the house, I realized, like the pack comes with Murphy beds, and I think there are 4 or 5 Murphy beds. One that's just simply a Murphy bed up on the wall. One that it's attached with how is it called, like a couch in front of it. And then you have another Murphy bed that has like the couch and then the bed and then the bookcase, and then I think the 4th one, it's even bigger. And I realized that I didn't even use Murphy beds, and I'm like, cool. Like this is the whole pack, you know, this is the main item of the pack, because each pack has a main item. For example, laundry day were the washing machines. This one, for me at least, is the Murphy beds. And it's like, okay, I didn't even use it, cool. So I found it really funny, to be honest. And I didn't really need to use it because, as you can see, I wanted, even though it is a tiny house, to be very spacious. What I don't like about tiny houses is how little space they have. Oh my god, really revolutionary. Tiny houses have little space. Wow, who would have thought? And what I don't like about it is many times for Sims to do any interaction during gameplay, they have to go outside. And this is something that it annoys me. It really annoys me. So when building the tiny houses, I wanted them to be as spacious as possible, not overcrowd them, and yeah, sure, okay, they have Murphy beds which save space. But using Murphy beds means that we have less space. So after finishing this build, which obviously I still haven't finished it, you are still seeing what I'm building, I was like, okay, we did 100 tiles and I didn't use Murphy beds. We should probably do like the 64 tiles because I will definitely use Murphy beds. The build with the 64 tiles will come out tomorrow, but spoiler alert, I didn't use Murphy beds there either. I'm like, are you for real? And I was seeing everyone else's cute pictures with Murphy beds and trying to kill their Sims with the Murphy beds because, that's the Sims community. And I'm like, I haven't even used it. I was so annoyed. Also, something that I wasn't happy with the pack, we got another freaking toilet. Like, are we for real? Why did we got a toilet? We don't need more toilets. It looks ugly. I don't like it. It doesn't really save much space than the rest of the toilets. It isn't less expensive than the rest of the toilets. I'm like, why? I don't like it. But yeah, the bathroom, as you can see, it's obviously, it's relatively small. However, I really wanted to fit laundry in the house because I feel like, come on, it's like, for me, laundry day and washing clothes in the game adds so much realism, and I love it. I love having my Sims do laundry because I'm like, I'm not gonna be the only one suffering here. You have to suffer too. Oh, you don't want to do laundry? Oh, too bad. And it's also like something that, for me at least, it, like, I don't know, it's a time filler thing. Okay, yeah, you're back from work, you did your skills, you think you're gonna go out in town? No, please, I'm not loading a different lot. So what you're gonna do? You're gonna do laundry. Yay. And yeah, I really wanted to include laundry here. And what I wanted to include, because I found out that when I play the game, I really need a computer. Like, it's needed for so many in-game functions and like so many things, and I don't always include them in houses, so I wanted to make an actual effort in 2020 to include computers in builds. So in this case, I was like, okay, cool, we're gonna add the computer to the bedroom, and I'm like, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. Why? I wasn't happy with it. So yeah. I sent some things around, and it's like a very tiny office beneath the staircase, but think it's also like here. I was like, okay, a desk, where do I put it? I need to fit it somewhere. It didn't work. So very annoyed, but yeah, I'll fit it under the stairs here, and I think it looks super cute. I'm really pleased with it. Something that also came with the free update, before the pack, not with the pack, was the ability to upgrade beds. And I've always used the beds that look the best. Even when gameplaying, if I was designing the house for my Sim to live in, I wasn't like in the rags to riches state, which I was like, okay, the cheapest bed, I don't really care. I would always go based on looks. However, I found out that people actually cared about like the bed level, and it made me really curious. Do you guys actually cared about the bed level? And like, for example, like, how much, how is it called? Like rest? It's not rest. Like how, comfort? I think, yeah, it's comfort. How much comfort stuff have? Because I never looked at that. And I also never cared about like the appliances. This is too lower level, you shouldn't use it. I'm like, this looks great, this is what I'm using. So it made me really mindful to like what others do. I'm like, really? What? So yeah, I would love to know if you cared actually about that stuff. Not that I think that I'm gonna change like what I use, especially since they added the ability to upgrade them, but I might look into it like a bit. What else? The backyard. Oh yeah. Something that took me forever. Like one of the many reasons why this build took me forever was I used a lot of the tool mod. This is a mod, if you're not aware, that you can essentially drag objects up and down and rotate them, and you all do it through the mod. And what is great about it, you'll be like, okay, you can use move, right? Like move objects. You can choose the exact distance where you want something to go. So I had so much fun making stuff look different. The entire pool area is like using the tool mod. Where I have the pool, there is like this fountain which came with, I wanna say, Get Together, and I dragged it up the wall and down to the ground, like in the pool, and it looks like a very cute fountain, and it's not like a diving board, which originally was. So I had so much fun doing that stuff. Like, it's tiny details that you won't really realize until you do, and you're like, and I think at least I would be like, huh, cool idea. I don't know, like, I really liked it. Something that actually, I went to playtest this house because I was like, okay, we need to take screenshots and playtest it. I went back to the game and the entire rooftop had disappeared. I'm like, are you kidding me? I don't need any more stress today. And I'm like, okay, cool. So yeah, I had really fun with that. And we're coming to the end and you will see tons of screenshots. But I really hope you love this house as much as I do, because oh my god, I love it so much. Like, I'm so proud of it. I think it looks really cool and has like this really unique shape. And I'm really happy with the glass roofs. And I'm really happy that I cheated my way into making a 100 tile lot. Like, yes, totally recommend cheating. Great tip. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I really hope you enjoy it. I don't know like what other mid-century homes others did. I know that I've seen some 64 tile ones. I was like, oh, that looks good. But I really hope you like it. Like, I'm really proud of it. And oh my god, the lighting in the house is amazing thanks to the glass roof. Like, look at that. Dream, yay. The build will be available when the pack releases, because I don't really see a point of making it available now since you won't be able to download it properly. So yeah, check my gallery on Tuesday, and thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!